You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go! What is up, guys, and welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 303. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I'm joined over Discord by the host of Large Popcorn and video producer at The Gamer, Christian Macias, at ISO Christian.
You can't live like this, Daniel. In hate.
Incredible. And I expect Gage to have a quote from the same universe. And resident Embark Glazer and my fellow Spartan, Gage Dempster at Gilbo Biggins.
Let's get it done.
Nice.
Your podcast has no dominion here.
We're in the Avatar universe, ladies and gentlemen. Roshan is dealing with some health stuff. Our thoughts are with him. Hopefully everything is going well and going on the mend. Ro, we're thinking about you and hope that everything gets better very, very soon. So everybody, good thoughts towards Ro.
Yes.
Thank you to everyone who is watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week, guys, is our Battlefield 6 beta impressions. But before we get there, I think we have something that Christian would like to talk about in some housekeeping here. Christian?
What?
Yes, Daniel. There's no way to say this. You just have to rip the Band-Aid off. My time as a permanent member of PXN will be coming to a close next week. Some good and some bad news. The bad news is, of course, I'm leaving. The good news is I'm going back to school. Yay. The more bad news is I'll be in debt, but hopefully that means from time to time when I have free time or like during like spring breaks or whatever, like breaks, I'll be able to come back on the pod, hang out with you guys. Me not being here doesn't mean us won't be able to hang out though. I'm sure we'll be playing games on the weekend and stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I obviously all of us were very sad to hear the news, but obviously very understanding that, I mean, you got to figure out what things you got to do for yourself in your life, and makes complete sense, and we're fully supportive of you, and we will gladly have you back on any episodes you want to be on. So
if you'll have me.
Yep. Absolutely. So yes, we'll have more to talk about and reminisce on next week's episode for Christian's last episode as a full-time member. But yeah, we have a special episode planned. I think we're going to do some Jeopardy boards and have some fun there. So,
and did the thing you order, Gage, is that underway?
It showed up today. And I forgot. I was like, what is this? I don't remember ordering anything recently. And then I realized, oh, right. I impulse ordered that thing,
Yeah.
Which is here and ready for next week.
Wow. Okay.
all right. Until
I'm
next week.
nervous.
You should be.
Incredible. All right. So let's move out of the sad news and go into our topic of the show, which is Battlefield 6 beta impressions, guys. We have played it all weekend long. But before we get into our impressions, there are some news stories here to talk about coinciding into it. Battlefield 6 will introduce classic maps that are based on fan feedback. We want to choose the best possible one to bring back the good old days of playing Battlefield from Battlefield Studios.
Which map and or maps would you like to see added the most, you think? I know we were playing over the weekend. There's talks about Operation Metro, not from all of us, but when Caspian Border was thrown around, Shanghai, Siege of Shanghai. What maps? What maps?
Yeah, Caspian Border, I want to see. I very badly want to see Caspian Border. And let me land the jet. I don't know if that's going to be possible in Battlefield 6 or not, but I want to land the jet. I know it sounds stupid, but I just want to I want to do it.
Yeah, I think first of all, I totally agree with Dan. Caspian Border is an all-time classic. A lot of the ones that are really fresh in my mind come from like Battlefield 4. So like, I really like Zavad. I really like Golmud Railway, which was kind of like the default, I feel like, big map in that Battlefield 4, at least for new maps. Obviously, it had Operation Firestorm, but that was from Battlefield 3. So Golmud Railway would be awesome. Zavad, even some propaganda maybe, but mostly, I mean, it's Operation Locker, it's Caspian Border, Operation Metro. These are some of the like premier Battlefield 4 maps that I think would just translate super well, especially with like Breakthrough on like Metro, dude. Breakthrough on Locker. Oh man, that'd be awesome.
Some really good Bad Company maps as well that I can't.
Yes,
remember
I was about to bring
names.
up two. I was going to bring up two. Arica Harbor is a great map for Rush, and then the snow map. I think White Pass was that was the one for like their beta test as well. But that one it sticks in my mind as like another great objective focus mode for the smaller game modes.
And I feel like, especially for the smaller like 48 player, Breakthrough. I think that the Bad Company maps might actually translate pretty well with that. I mean, it's 16 players more, than what Bad Company had, but I feel like it's close enough that it might still work.
Well, scalability, right? You don't have to make it one for one exact dimensions. Just make it a faithful, remake of that map.
True.
And if you have to increase it a little bit, that would be Arica Harbor would be such a great throwout, dude. That would go crazy on Breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna talk about Breakthrough in a minute. I can't wait till we get there.
We will get there in a moment. But we also have Battlefield 6 beta that is hitting 521,079 concurrent players on Steam for number 18th place of all time on peak concurrent players. Insane numbers from a beta, nonetheless.
Huge.
We'll talk about it, but it's indicative of the times we're in with multiplayer shooters and what audiences have been craving.
Absolutely. And then the last little bit here before our impressions, over 330,000 attempts to cheat have been stopped by the Javelin anti-cheat system that has been implemented for BF6. So seemingly very good news for anti-cheat. Now, that's not going to be probably perfect. I don't think any anti-cheat is, but hopefully that means we aren't getting filled lobbies with cheaters.
Right. The secure boot probably helped with that.
Yeah, did you have to do that, Gage?
No, I didn't have to do that. I was doing something else in my BIOS.
Doing something else, yeah. All right, before we get into the impressions, Glenn did say in the chat, unacceptable, Christian. Just make time during school. It's only once a week, and then he put sad face, cry face, the curse emoji. He put all kinds of.
One thing I didn't even mention is like it's not just school; it's school and 2 jobs.
Yeah.
So, woo! I love the society we built for ourselves.
Come move to Kentucky.
Move
Real
to
quick,
Canada.
I'm trying to bring up the stats page that way we can get yours, Daniel, in real time. And I accidentally said that I was less than 1 year old, years old, while trying to sign in, and now I just can't get into the stats page.
Uh-oh.
I can do it. I can bring it up here.
Sorry, you're not
January
eligible to use
1st.
contact.
He said you're
Sorry,
1-year-old.
Yeah.
You're not finished gestating yet. You can't see this.
That's awesome.
I got my picture up though, at least.
Okay. All right. Well, while we're doing that, I have mine pulled up as well.
Okay.
Okay. Do we want to talk about what do we want to talk about first? Our general first impressions, or do we want to go over our stats? Like, what do you guys want to do first?
Let's put stats at the end. Let's talk about general first impressions. Let's set the lay of the land.
All right. So, what are our general first impressions from the Battlefield 6 beta? Who wants to go first? Go for it.
No, please. Okay. During the reveal, I liked a lot of what I was seeing. The pitch of the game being inspired from the battlefields of, what I'd consider the golden years of Battlefield, from Bad Company 2 into BF4. Going back to the class system, this, focus on objective gameplay. And they were doing a great job of selling me on the pitch of the game. What I wanted to know is, how does it feel on the sticks? Is it true? Is EA going to get in the way of itself? All these question marks. But I really wanted to see what it felt like behind the sticks. There's room for improvement, but after I don't know, it must have been 2 days of the beta, I was already convinced. No, this is a good product. I like this a lot. Am I going to love it? Time will tell, and the full release will tell. There's a couple of things that I think are missing, and we haven't gotten the full scope of all the maps yet and all the game modes to really dictate how I'll feel about the final version of the game. But it is off to an incredible foot, and I think it's kind of wild, as I mentioned earlier, that it's not nostalgia blinding me. It's weird that for them to hone in on their identity, they went back to a version of themselves that is at this point 10 plus years old. Are they doing anything new per se that is taking the franchise forward? I think the answer is no, but also I don't know if we really necessarily needed it. I think we've been missing just a core gameplay experience that is immersive and fun and objective focused, and add a couple of things that are next gen that make it a fun and tight gameplay. And I think BF6 is hitting the things that I wanted to hit, the same way Arc Raiders did just a couple of months ago when we did that tech test. So shooters might be back, Battlefield might be back.
Wow. That was an inspiring speech. I agree with almost everything. You've said. I was a bit more cautious going into this beta because Battlefield, as I say, is probably my favorite multiplayer franchise, and I've been burned a lot the last 2 games. I did not enjoy Battlefield 5 at all. Some people got to find the silver lining in that one, and I didn't. And Battlefield 2042 I tolerated because it had simply been so long since there was a Battlefield game that I played and enjoyed, but I didn't really enjoy that one. And so jumping into this, you're right. It feels good. They've toned it. There's no more tac sprint. They're not worried about sort of copying everything that Call of Duty is doing. Although you can still obviously see inspirations, especially in the first person animations and stuff like that. But they are kind of going back to what they themselves do best. They're focusing on class-based, squad-based combat. And the main thing about this that I found myself thinking while we were playing it is that, even though it sounds like such a cliche sort of gamer journalist thing to say, but it's the more you engage with the systems that the game wants you to engage with, the second that you stop sprinting around and you actually start moving as a team and doing call outs and clearing rooms, so to speak, the game just feels so immersive and so good. And the return to a simpler, more grounded art style, I think, really helps with that. The audio is insane. The gunplay feels good. It's refreshing. It's refreshing. It feels like a first-person shooter of a bygone era, just with the bells and whistles that you'd want from a modern one. So I was very, very pleasantly surprised playing this beta. And the more I played it, the more it grew on me. I'll say that too.
Yes. I especially agree with the last part you just said, Gage, because my first impressions of playing the beta, I was like, okay, this is Battlefield, but I feel like I'm fucking just getting absolutely destroyed by everyone and everything. Right. And I can't figure out if it was because there was such a high like skill based matchmaking system that we were just matching sweats, or if there was just a lot of sweats on the game at the time, or if it was a combination of that and I'm still learning this brand new beta that I've not played yet. But yeah, the early goings, I was like trying to figure out my identity of what I wanted to do in this game. Like I tried sniping, I tried all these things that I did in previous Battlefields, and I was struggling to see, like, I was enjoying it and understanding like this, like recognizing this looks good, but then I was like, man, this is not necessarily hitting right off the bat for me. But what were you going to say, Christian?
Quick note on the SBMM is that we got confirmation from the devs that they have a toned down version, like more akin to like classic Battlefield, that's much more like casual and approachable, as opposed to what we've seen like in Call of Duty recently, which I think is good. So, but I'm with you though. For opening couple of games, I think we were all kind of struggling a little bit to kind of come to grasp with how to play this again. Keep going.
Yes.
I'm locked in.
No, you're good. Yeah, I think it was probably just mainly like there was just so many sweats that were on like Battlefield fans that were like, man, I got to get my hands on this beta right away. Like we were playing early access day one, so I'm sure that was probably a big portion of it. But yes, as we continued to play into the weekend and play more and more, I was like, this fucking game rocks. Like I think there was one match where I had 40 some kills, and I'm like, I've never had 40 plus kills in a Battlefield game before. Usually I play them pretty casually and like I just sit back, get in the jet, fly around and enjoy it. And actually the inverse happens in this game where I actually find myself wanting to be on the ground infantry based more so than flying around in the skies because of how good the gunplay is in this game. And I forget the name of the SMG but that I've been rocking, but I fucking love that gun and maxing out all of the attachments on it, and it is just it is a dream. I love it.
If I can piggyback on this, I think this will go into our favorite aspects. One thing that Gage was commented on just a minute ago, and I think you were kind of alluding to, and what I think I felt too when we first got in there. I don't know what it is, man. Maybe it was like years of like recent shooters and kind of changing the way we approach games and how we play. Is like even the finals a little bit. Like we run and gun, right? And I remember being on one of the maps that like was almost never in rotation for some reason, just getting absolutely destroyed. And I was like really not having a good time. And the moment I started slowing down and approaching the gameplay more methodically, immediately everything improved. And once I clicked into that mindset, methodical turned into like team play, not just squad play, but like team play. Even if we were losing, right, and we had like minus 400 tickets, the camaraderie and cooperation, maybe. There's another word I'm forgetting, but gelling with as a unit, as a team, felt good, and it was like. I mean, it's Battlefield, but it was like nothing I had experienced from any other shooter in what feels like so long. And it's just that's where the fun is made. And every match is the same, but it's also different. And it's a little bit of a level of immersion that is like I really needed. It's so fun.
Yeah. It feels like a first-person shooter where you get more out of it the more you use your brain, which is like normally the opposite of how first-person shooters typically work, at least the popular ones, right? And like there was a moment, you're talking about not just squad play but team play. There was a moment, I don't know if Dan was there for it. I mean, the three of us were playing with a bunch of different people, different combinations and groups of people all weekend. But I know you were there for sure, Christian, because I commented on it to you. But there was a time where I think we were playing Breakthrough when We had like just defeated a certain objective and we saw the other one needed help. So you and I decided to leave, but we noticed that like there was like at least 10 different people that were not in our squad that were just on our team that also seemed to do the same thing, and they were walking in like a single file line ahead of us to the same objective. And I said to myself, if you were to remove the gamer tags above their head, you would almost think that this is like pre-programmed bots, but it wasn't. It was just 12 different human beings playing the game, all paying attention to the same information on their minimap, deciding to lock in and go push that same objective. And so there are moments that you have in this game where it's like I said, when you engage with its systems, when you're really, really thinking about what do I need to do for this team to win, as opposed to let me just run around and get as many kills as I can. These really cool, immersive, almost campaign moments happen where I'm following behind 10 other human players that are just kind of walking down the street, clearing their corners. I'm assuming calling out to each other, obviously, that we didn't have voice chat on, but like there's these moments of immersion that are just awesome and that you can truly only get in Battlefield.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, you have something to add to that?
I was going to add to it, yeah, in the sense that like sometimes like for first person shooters especially, like you get into this trance where you're like, especially in big large scale multiplayer shooters, you get in this trance where you're just like following around your entire team everywhere they go. And like the best moments of this game for me are always like, okay, I'm seeing about 10 people go this way, I'm going to go this way and go a different path to get to where we're trying to go, and try to find the sneaky path in and try to get behind the enemy squad and take them from another front, because then the enemy has to fight two fronts. Like having that kind of like strategy in a first person shooter is so interesting, rather than, Call of Duty where you're just running around the map and just dead instantly.
Any strategy, right? It's like a kind of a small miracle in and of itself that you're actually thinking these things out while you're playing the game. And there's more than a few times I can remember that exact scenario where I would see a giant push on the spawn screen of people moving up this one thing, and then I look and there's a little green dot moving around the outside of the map, and I'm like, I bet that's Dan. I click on it, sure enough, that's Dan. I spawn on you, and then Christian spawns on me, and then the next thing you know, it's me, you, Christian, Sheldon, and a couple of other stragglers pushing around this back end. And like you said, you get the flank on them, and sometimes that pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. But the fact that you're having these dynamic sort of like strategy, different improv moments is definitely a strength of the game, I think.
I remember playing BattleBit with us. I can't remember if it was both you guys or it was just Gage, but we always talk about this bridge on BattleBit Remaster where everyone was talking and I was like, I got you, brother. And it felt like very immersive, but like also you're like playing this Roblox-esque Battlefield game.
Right.
There's only so much immersion you can have on this. I know Call of Duty tries to do this by having like the 3-lane maps. It doesn't always happen to various degrees of success. But what I liked about particularly Breakthrough and BF6 is like you have that level of immersion from BattleBit, but in these maps that create organic pockets of engagement where you are like pushing up or falling back as a squad and as a team, and it is really exciting to play cooperatively, to throw down stuff for your team and to support them. And as you push through an alley and you realize like you're like not successfully doing it as well, so you kind of fall back a little bit and try and re-engaging somewhere else, and you're supporting a different pocket of engagement. That gameplay loop, I don't know, man. I feel like this because it's organic, endless possibilities and endless amount of fun that I think is going to create like it's going to be a lot of fun in October when when you have all the maps and all the game modes and people start sharing their stuff online.
Yeah,
and again, one important thing I just mentioned, Call of Duty, is like the challenges in this game. All it is are like not operator skins, but like a different soldier, camouflage for your soldier, and not like skins that are cartoonish.
Nicki Minaj.
It's important. It's important that this game has an identity. I think it's one of the reasons why it's hitting for so many people.
Right.
Yeah, I really like what you were saying there, Christian, because like when we were first playing Breakthrough and you guys were taking us into Breakthrough, I was a little nervous because I don't traditionally like the smaller scale Battlefield experiences. I'm always, like I said before, I always used to just love getting in the jets and vehicles and all that kind of stuff. But like the gameplay loop in this game makes me love those infantry and those more intimate moments that Breakthrough does shine very brightly because of those moments. And yeah, it's just such a interesting dichotomy to my previous history of with the franchise, to get this completely different experience. It's refreshing, honestly. Since Bad Company, I feel like Bad Company was kind of similar in that respect for me, but all the ones since then haven't necessarily scratched that itch.
Here's a question: when you were playing the other Battlefields, were you playing solo or were you playing with friends, like on the Xbox or whatever?
Usually I was playing with friends, but yeah, occasionally I would play solo as well.
Yeah. This for me, this is having like very. I'm when I'm playing this, I'm getting memories of BC2 and BF3 of playing with my squad and pushing slowly. I remember with Gage talking about like I had problems with one of the maps on there that I ended up growing on me over time, but it took a while to get there, and it was because of Breakthrough. That ended up switching how I felt about a certain map. Still not a perfect map, but ended up being kind of the saving grace for me on BF6, because Breakthrough reminded me a lot about Rush, and Rush ended up being one of my favorite game modes, like I think of all time for Battlefield. Maybe even I might like it more than Conquest, to be honest, and that's the staple mode.
Yeah.
So
Bad Company,
Breakthrough,
Rush. Ugh.
Yeah, Bad Company 2 Rush is like some of my peak core Battlefield memories, I should say. Yeah, Breakthrough is kind of interesting because it almost feels like a stopgap between Rush and Conquest. Especially, I'm sure, like how Breakthrough will play on some of the bigger maps. I'm sure there will be vehicles. Like there already are vehicles in Breakthrough, but I'm sure on like Operation Firestorm, it'll really feel like that in between mode if you kind of want a more focused, direct to action mode, but with the scale of Conquest. Breakthrough kind of feels perfect for that, at least in my opinion. So that mode definitely stole the show for me. I also want to shout out like the audio specifically in this game. Like, I don't know if subconsciously maybe this is the reason that we all kind of were playing infantry more than we normally do. I mean, I except for Christian, but like, because Dan, I'm the same way with you. Like, when I think of Battlefield 4, I think I probably spent at least half of my time in vehicles. Like, it was not the same as the Battlefield. If the Battlefield 6 is sort of indicative of any way how I'm going to play the game, this is way different than how I played Battlefield 4. And I wonder if part of that is because subconsciously, the audio is so good. I think all three of us adjusted our audio mix to like this alternate mix they have. It's called War Tapes VAL, yeah. And pretty much it does the opposite of what so many shooters try to do nowadays. Instead of making every sound sort of crisp and specific and dynamic, it kind of like blows out like the reverb and makes it sound like as if you're actually there. So like gunshots are really loud and echoey and like kind of distorted, and it just sounds awesome. Like I was like every firefight I was in, like I was totally locked in, I was totally immersed, and I do wonder if some of that of me just itching to get back into the street and fight like that is just because how good the audio sounded. I think that was maybe the thing that I was most impressed with in this entire game.
I sent you a clip of me realizing that the DMR I'm shooting reverberates against the mountains to my left on Liberation Peak, like a second or two after I shoot it because of the distance of it. And then I started paying attention to more videos, and I realized all the noises I'm hearing are just organic shoot, like the pops from gunfire from like several hundred feet near me. It sounds really good.
Dude, the moment for me for the audio was on Liberation Peak as well, when a fucking jet flies literally right past my face.
Scream of it as it comes overhead.
Yeah, like, and you can hear the scream of the jet engines, and you can hear like this subtle like whine from the engines as they're like cycling up and down. It's just like a master class of audio, and this game assuredly is going to get nominated for some awards for audio design, no doubt about that.
Can I say my favorite thing about the beta?
Please.
My favorite thing about BF6, they introduced a new mechanic, which is drag to revive. And it is
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing that they've done in this series. Tossing a smoke as support so that it breaks the line of sight against the enemies, and rushing in to drag a teammate out into cover and reviving them literally never stopped feeling actually epic. It
It felt amazing
every time.
Every single time. Yeah.
Even like not being successful when doing it still felt good.
Right. Yeah. And you're sitting there, you're going, oh, is he gonna, and then, like you said, even if you don't get it, it's still like a moment. But the amount of times that you do get it, and there's a few times where I could tell you were like probably thinking to yourself, don't even try it. And I go in there and I get it, and I get a few hit markers, and it's looking iffy, but then I get us up, we run out of there. Oh man,
that's
huge.
So good. It's so good.
I want to start us off here with the rooms for improvement thing. I want to jump in and say this because I also want to put something out into the universe that may or may not manifest over the next few entries of big shooter games. I am worried about cosmetics because I had an epiphany when I was playing this weekend, and I think part of the immersion that I'm experiencing, especially in this beta, that you don't get in almost any shooter nowadays, is that it feels like you are part of an army. And that is because right now in the beta, there is zero customization. And so what I realize is that, like, man, it's not even the wacky customization. It's having any sort of customization at all, where suddenly everyone has their own individual camos on, that I think subconsciously takes away from the experience. And so I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, it'd be really cool if maybe one of these entries, maybe one of these days, Battlefield specifically, a game that's sort of about large-scale teams, what if they went like the rematch route, where it's like, instead of everyone having individual skins, you have like NATO faction outfits and whatever they're... not Russia, but it's definitely Russia. I can't even remember what the faction's called in this game, but it's some sort of made-up Eastern European bad guy. But like, how cool would it be if it's like I pick, woodland camo for my NATO, and when I'm playing the game, everyone on my screen on my thing looks like that, and Dan maybe picks this black and red pre-order skin, so everybody on the NATO team for him looks black and red. I feel like that's such a nice middle ground, because I was thinking about it, and I was like, when we're walking, I don't think people realize how much it does affect your subconscious, but when you're walking down the street, especially in Siege of Cairo, and everybody on the street that is on your team is all wearing the same fatigues, like, it felt immersive. It felt so cool. Like, I am part of an army that is in the middle of a military operation. And I feel like even with the realistic grounded camos, as soon as everybody has, that guy's wearing, gray and black camo, and that guy's wearing, white and beige, and this guy's wearing jungle green. Like, I hate it. I fucking hate it.
That is interesting, because I was going to suggest like the Halo MCC approach, where you can turn the toggle on and it basically turns off all bullshit armor, and you can just see
that's the gold standard. I would love that.
But your idea sounds better, actually, because at that point you're controlling what you're seeing on your screen. And honestly, like, even for microtransactions from EA's perspective, I don't see how it would necessarily negatively affect them, because you're still getting to see your personal thing that you're buying. Like, that's what people want to see, is their thing. So then, if everyone has it, then yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know if that would break immersion for me. Like, if,
well, I mean,
if someone has like the default soldier skin, but then somebody has like, the jacket is off and it's like a rolled up sleeve shirt that is like the undershirt of that soldier's outfit. Like, I don't know if that would break immersion for me. As long as there's still like fatigues, you know what I mean?
Sure, but like, when they're all wearing different fatigues, you don't think that'll get to you?
Good question. Or yeah, maybe.
Right, you're in Siege of Cairo. Somebody's wearing like some dark green foliage. The next person's wearing an Arctic ghillie suit.
Yeah.
And then
I think where I
that,
land,
multiply that by 32.
I think where I land is I'm kind of more on the side of that. I don't think it will have a huge impact on me as long as it's, you know, remaining consistent with what the game's tonally going for. However,
Right.
I don't see the negative in giving people options, so I don't see why
For sure.
you can't give, you know, people an option to have, you know, just the classic look, or, you know, like your idea, Gage, where you can turn on just your skin for your whole team. Yeah, I think that would be a good option to have. Can I just talk about?
What was I gonna say?
Oh, sorry.
Please.
Oh.
Oh no! Oh, I was gonna say. Oh man, I mean, it's the Halo thing where, like, you know, when Letterboxd introduced, if you're a pro member or patron member, you can customize the posters on Letterboxd, and I hated seeing the alternative posters. I wanted because there's so many. I just want everything
Right.
to look the same, and so I turned that. I toggled it off, and I was like, okay, now this is the poster for this movie, and they all looked this way.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Totally fair.
Something to that.
My biggest room for or one of my biggest room for improvements is the fucking menus. My God, those menus are fucking atrocious, and I'm hoping this is more attributable to just being a beta and that it's still work in progress, and that's not like our final menus or anything, because those menus are atrocious. They, like, even getting in and out of them, like, they're very inconsistent if you're in game. If you're in game, it virtually doesn't work.
And by this you mean settings. You mean the settings menus.
Yes.
Not
Right,
the
exactly.
Sorry, yes. Yep. And yeah, in game it virtually doesn't work. And then when you're in the menus, like the main menu, at the home screen, you can't go back to the previous page you were looking at. You press B and it takes you back all the way to the beginning, and you have to go back and search what menu you were in. If you have multiple options you want to tweak, then you got to go all the way back to the beginning and then go back, drill back into where you were at. It's so frustrating, and there's something to be said of having too many options sometimes. Like, I think this might be the case too.
I did a guide this week while the beta was down. You could still go on, like, log in and like mess with your controller settings. That's what I did, right? I did a guide for controller settings. And it is so funny how many menus you have to dig through just to tweak your ADS speed. And there's like 3 different kinds of speed, and they all mean different things. It's too much. Yeah, they should. Yeah, I agree with you. They're very bad. But also, I also think the menus are like, I'm not a fan. Stylistically, I am not a fan of the horizontal Hulu Netflix-esque tiles, and I also think it's really bad design to have the descriptions of them be on, like, at the top, and behind it is like this are these TV screens that are constantly changing. But the text is white, and so sometimes when the screen behind you is white, you can't read the description of the thing you're trying to read, and it's like, this is bad UX. This should not have made it through anything, if I'm being honest. And we got to get away from that kind of style of menus. Simplify is the big thing. My biggest room for improvement is, I think the large scale maps from the beta are not as... They're too small to be considered large scale. The biggest map on there, I think, was maybe Liberation Peak, or maybe Gibraltar was the biggest. But I also got to play it like 3 times. For whatever reason, just never wanted to. Here's another thing I want to hear. I'm having an interstitial right here. Hopefully this is just for the beta and not for the final release. Every time you end the game, it starts matchmaking as if you were starting a brand new search for the very first time. It does not continue with the same people, which leads to like playing Liberation Front Breakthrough as a defender, possibly 3 to 4 times in a row. We got to get rid of that. But yeah, the maps themselves being called large scale are still pretty small to the like I can run from one flag to the next in under a minute. And I mean, just because they're small means you have access to less vehicles. There's one jet per side, one helo per side, which is, I mean, fine for these smaller maps, but like sometimes you do want that actual large scale battle where you're like running across from one end to the other, and it takes maybe like 30 seconds to 60 seconds longer. But sometimes I think having a bit more larger scale is needed if you want to do more vehicle stuff in Battlefield, which a lot of people do. Not everyone wants to be infantry all the time. If you do want to have these infantry focused gameplay, that's when you can jump into rush and break through and maybe hopefully get some of these smaller maps in Conquest. And then of course I think we know that server search is coming. So whatever that looks like, I hope they nail it. I want to have some like closed class rush servers, stuff like that.
Yeah, we are getting one more map in this coming weekend's beta, but it is Empire State, which is an infantry only map. So that will not scratch our itch for larger scale, but it will be nice to have a new map in the mix, though. I'm curious if Firestorm maybe will scratch that itch a little bit, because since that's a classic map, that should be large scale, I would think.
And that one was bigger for sure. Yeah. Also, Immigration Offensive is the map, the Gibraltar map. That map was fun on Conquest because it makes a lot of like these pockets of engagement that we like so much. But I don't know why it just would not populate in the matchmaking almost at all. So
very interesting. Okay. Any other thoughts before we talk about our stats?
Yeah. I remember a couple months ago when we were playing Arc Raiders and making the comment that, sorry, I'm taking off my socks as we talk. Come October is going to be so fun to have like Rematch and Arc Raiders, like as like the two games, the multiplayer games you're jumping back and forth. After playing the BF6 beta, I don't know. Maybe because this is so fresh in my mind. I liked the casual approach to BF6, where I know I'm going to have to be way more dialed into Arc Raiders, like, building up my collection of loot and progressing all my quests. That to me feels more of a hardcore, more an investment style of gameplay. And for the time sink that I know it's going to be, I don't know, just hopping in for a couple of matches of BF6 and still being as immersed while still being casual, that might be my favorite of the mix come October over Arc Raiders. That might be more where I'm trying to gravitate toward, as opposed to Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is fun.
That's insane. The absolute switch up and slander that I'm hearing right now from anyone who's listening to this, pause this episode right now and go back and listen to our Arc Raiders reaction and then come back to this and shake your head along with me. Battlefield 6 is fun. And for all the reasons that we said, Battlefield feels so much better than Call of Duty because you got to use your brain a little bit and you got to actually have strategy, is the reason why Arc Raiders is the big boy game. Battlefield 6 is fun, little bro. That's fine, but the fries in the bag, capture C, whatever. But Arc Raiders, let's not get it twisted. Arc Raiders is a big boy game for big boys.
To be fair, Gage, now he's saying that the time sink is much more significant in Arc Raiders, so therefore, I kind of agree with Christian in that sense, but because if you're not putting the time sink into Arc Raiders, it's going to be harder to have a great experience because there's going to be people that have better loot than you and better equipped than you. So I totally understand the aspect of I just want to jump in and just enjoy something. Not to say you couldn't jump into Arc Raiders and just enjoy it, but it's going to be harder to just jump into Arc Raiders and enjoy yourself than something like Battlefield.
If you don't go to flight school, it's going to be hard to fly a plane. I don't know what to tell you. Arc Raiders is a game that absolutely deserves all of your time and all of your grinding. and all of your dedication.
Jeez.
I'm gonna have like an hour and a
Embark.
half, maybe. You know what I mean?
Embark Glaze on.
Oh my God.
I
What is
love
he
you,
doing?
and I can't wait to spend more time with you.
Our resident Embark Glazer himself. All right. Our Battlefield stats. We want to go over these guys. Who wants to
Absolutely.
talk about how good they are?
Christian and I have the same stats apparently, so it doesn't even matter.
You have the same.
What does that mean?
stats? What?
We've got very, very similar stats. Is all I'm trying to say. That's not a bad thing. Why would that be a bad thing?
I don't know.
Well, let's hear it.
Let's hear it then.
All right. I think I probably have the most matches played. I think that's the only one where I kind of come out ahead. I'm looking at the page here. I got 51 matches played. Do I have to say shot accuracy or no?
I don't care.
You can skip it. It's fine.
I mean,
Go ahead and skip
I
it.
wonder.
that.
I do wonder what they're doing with shot accuracy. Like, does that count like vehicles? Like, how does that work?
It has to, because mine is
Yeah.
like not making sense to the rest of my stats. I got 51 matches played, a total of just a little over 1 million XP. KD ratio of 1.97. Definitely took a hit for my first few matches. Like we all said, my first few matches, I was not having a good time. Total kills 1,015. Total
Jesus.
assists 670. And total revives 258. And I most played class was support.
How do I get back to these stats? What do I look up?
You have to be more than 1 year old to look at the stats, unfortunately.
There we go. EA.
Yeah.
Open beta weekend 1. Search EA ID.
I'll tell.
Skill
sensitive,
bow
which is interesting.
begins.
Oh,
No, it's half semi with capital H and S. Oh, you're just trying to see what my okay, yeah.
See this shot accuracy, huh?
well,
Better than mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say. that's
Wow.
better than mine also.
Let's talk about shot accuracy then.
Oh wait, no, it's not. Yeah, it is.
Let me hear your stats. I know your KD ratio and your revives are very close to mine.
Yeah. I played 34 matches, 715,000 XP. KDR was 2.03. I got 598 confirmed kills. One of those is a dog tag. I remember that.
Nice.
402 assists and 263 revives. I think my most played class was apparently assault.
Interesting.
Well,
huh?
I think, I don't know if that's mine or if that's as a collective. Everyone. No, that's mine. Yeah, my most
Let's
played
see
was
what it says.
assault.
Mine's in support. Yeah.
But I felt like I was playing support a lot longer because breakthrough and support was like a match made in heaven for me after a while. So good.
I only ever remember you playing support or recon. Like I'm surprised that assault is your number one.
I don't know.
All right. Mine total matches played 43, 808,210 XP, 1.35 KD. Let me just clarify. I love spamming the A button to just wake myself up right away. I don't like waiting for people. 569 kills, 404 assists, 64 revives. I'm not reviving very many people. I need to up that.
Damn.
I need to up that.
Damn. I want to shout out before we move on. Another shout out to Battlefield 6 that they kept this in, because I don't think 2042 did this, but the old school Battlefields did. I very much like how if you get killed, quote unquote, and then revived, it does not count as a death. That, whether you realize it or not, kind of promotes like even more squad play. I think if you're trying to grind for like good stats, you've got medics running with you, and that's totally fair. That's how it should be.
Bunch
I love
of COD
that.
players in this beta, dude, playing breakthrough
Right.
and watching them. I'm a medic right next to them, watching them skip to revive immediately. Dude, our tickets.
Especially as attacking. Exactly, right? As attacking, it's even worse. Yeah. So I like that once people catch on, like if this game is popular and it catches on, that's one of those things where it's like top 5 things you didn't know in Battlefield 6. People will see that, and it's one of those things that I think will have a positive reverberation through like the gameplay.
I almost forgot. I want ribbons to come back because I used to love checking my ribbons in Battlefield 2.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Also, my most played class was engineer. So
Yes, I don't think I saw you switch off that once.
I did a couple times. Not much though. Not much though. All right. That is our topic of the show. Overall thoughts on Battlefield 6. Positive.
Very positive.
The PXN news of the week, guys. We have one item here, and that is from Arc Raiders. We were just talking about them. They heard us, so they made a response here. The team here in Stockholm is in full gear, getting ready for the release on October 30th. Our focus is now on polishing and expanding the experience and putting all the learnings from Technical Test 2 into action ahead of release. Just so you know, we're not planning additional public tests before launch. We've learned from our last announcement that it's crucial to keep expectations in check. So we also want to be clear that we won't be at Gamescom. But don't worry, our launch campaign will kick off before you know it. We'll have many more updates for you in the lead up to launch. Thank you all for all the support and encouragement you've been sending our way. It means the world. So no more betas or alpha tests for Arc Raiders. Very sad about that. We won't get another hands-on session until launch. But I think we all would agree that it was in a very good state the last time we played it, to be optimistic for a launch.
When does it release? October what?
30th.
30th, yeah. Okay. That's a Thursday.
Yeah.
It's a Thursday. I feel so. 2 things. One, time dilution. It was not very good. It was immaculate. It was an immaculate beta that we all said could launch right now and feel like a finished, polished product. Secondly, I don't know. I'm trying to look it up right now because I can't remember at the top of my head. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not sure if Embark is owned by a larger conglomerate or if they're just kind of on their own. But they're making decisions there that would lead me to believe that they are not owned by a giant conglomerate. And the reason why I just wanted to put this into news of the week, if maybe we have something more to say about it, but it's like, I feel like this is a really rare decision in the industry. Like, you have a game that comes out, an open tech test, beta, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know if again, time dilation. I don't know if you guys are not remembering what YouTube looked like when Arc Raiders came out. But I had never seen a game get glazed this hard by so many different content creators. You have this insane reaction to it, and then your response as a company is, okay, we're going to take like an extra 6 months and really make sure that this thing is ready. Like, to me, that just seems like absolutely unheard of in the day and age that we live in right now.
Nexon is
I don't
the
know.
owner, by the way.
Who is it, sorry?
Nexon. Yeah.
Chevron.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're making some really smart decisions that are totally against the norm. Especially if I mean, Battlefield is kind of getting that same hype right now, but they've already got their release date locked in stone. This was before we had a release date.
How come you have no problems with the cosmetics in that game, huh?
In the retro Star Wars inspired.
Everybody's got different skin on. Where's the immersion breaking in that, huh?
Well, they're all survivors, right? They're not a uniformed military.
Okay. Well, I'm a soldier, and that guy's everyone's a human. But humans can't look different. They can't dress different.
Oh, okay. What is this? What am I? The Empire?
You might be. You want those?
Why don't you settle down, Gorman resistor, agitator, instigator?
I got another friend of mine to finally start Andor, and he called me. He's like, "Hey, you were right, by the way. This show's really good." Like, yeah, I know.
Gage is the type standing on the sidelines looking at clone troopers like, man, this actually isn't that bad of an idea. I like clone troopers.
The clone troopers did look super sick, dude, with their little colors indicating what rank they are. That was, hey man, their fashion sense.
Nah, they need to be more uniform, or else I can't even think about it. When I walk down the street, if someone's wearing different colors than me, I'm like, nah.
This is the biggest false equivalency. This is the most fallacious argument I think I've ever heard you make on this show. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I know what that smile's for.
But it's getting to you.
All right. Arc Raiders.
We're all buying Arc Raiders when it comes out, though, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And Battlefield and Outer Worlds 2 that all comes out in the month of October. Thanks, fucking video game industry.
Thanks,
And
Microsoft.
Marathon. Wait.
No, not Marathon. That was supposed to come out in like a month.
Oh, that was September. It was supposed to be September.
Yeah. Before it got delayed. They're saying by March or April, whatever it is. It ain't coming out by then. There's no way.
I would say don't get your hopes up, Bungie. Why don't you just take as much time as you need, which is a lot. The game is in rough shape.
I think it'll probably be late next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
All right.
Can't make it too late.
Speaking of Bungie, in our first quick bite here, Sony's CFO, Lin Tao, has said that Bungie is in the process of becoming part of PlayStation Studios. And I quote, "This independence is getting lighter, so Bungie is shifting into a role which is becoming more a part of PlayStation Studios, and integration is also proceeding. In the long term, you can see this as an ongoing process, so the direction is to become part of PlayStation Studios." I can't help but be a little sad by that, because it's like, I feel like they do lose a little bit of whatever identity they have left. And I feel like there is still a little bit of identity that they still have. And I don't know. It does make me a little sad. And probably layoffs, right? Because if they're no longer operating independently, they're not going to need a bunch of, things that cross over with PlayStation Studios. So could be more bad news on the way.
I mean, realistically, those layoffs should be from the top down, right?
Right.
If you don't need it, you shouldn't need your own CFO, your own CEO.
Right. I was meaaning more towards like marketing, that kind of stuff.
That'll suck too. Yeah, that'll absolutely get hit too. But I the only reason I bring it up is because I have a sinking suspicion that some of those people will find ways to weasel in and stay where they are with their nice pay packages, even though, like you just said, if there's overlap, those people should be out the door first, especially if you weren't able to do what you needed to do.
Pete Parsons.
But exactly.
All right. Our next quick bite here. PlayStation 5 has hit a sales milestone of 80.3 million consoles shipped. Insane. A lot of consoles.
I'm at least one of those.
I'm also at least one of those. Dan, you're like 3 of them.
Technically, I'm 2 of those. I'm 2 of those because I bought the anniversary version. And then I sold my old one to my friend. It is crazy how much smaller the new one is, though. Like, I was shocked at how much smaller it is.
The PS5 Pro?
No, just the normal PS5.
Yeah.
No PS5. Right.
Yeah, the smaller version. So 80.3 million consoles shipped. A lot of hardware moving. But our next quick bite here. Sony's vice president, Sadahiko Hayakawa. I apologize in advance. I tried my best on that. says that they are gradually shifting their gaming business from a hardware-centric business model to a community and engagement-based platform business model. In the gaming business, we are moving away from a hardware-centric business model to a more to a platform business that expands the community and increases engagement.
What does that mean? How? What is it?
I don't know. It's seemingly without saying, it's almost like they don't want to say directly that they don't want to just ship consoles and make console exclusives anymore. Is what I took.
He says overall, Sony are just scroll down. He says Sony are making a shift to creation as a company, as the three segments of games, music, and pictures make up 60% of Sony's total revenue. So this is Sony at large.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of people took this as like, again, talking about the idea of like Sony publishing their games in more places to essentially make more money for Big Daddy Sony, because obviously PlayStation is just one segment of Sony as a whole. So it could seemingly mean that we're more on a path of, Sony becoming more open to the idea of publishing on more platforms, like we talked about a few weeks ago, asking whether PlayStation was going to become a third-party publisher, or more of a third-party publisher, rather. Yeah, interesting.
Thank you, Concord.
Digital Foundry are resident experts of basically just analyzing every single video game that comes out and publishing some really great results from that, has announced that they are separating from IGN and is now fully independent. They have a whole special where they talk about their thoughts and aspirations for the future of the channel, so go ahead and check them out if you want to support them and their efforts. They always do very, very good deep dives on technical aspects of video games. Very cool.
Yep. I love it. The Digital Foundry guys kind of have a thankless job, especially in terms of like the wider gaming audience, because they're very, you got to be a specific type of person to sit down and watch 30 minutes of these guys talk about what they talk about. But like, it's a necessary. There's what they do is so necessary, right? We need the types of people that when a new console comes out, they can actually break the thing open and talk about what's actually there and what everything is doing and how it stacks up to the promises of certain companies when they declare certain things. So this is awesome, because I could totally see Digital Foundry being something that IGN, when they have a bad quarter, just goes, you know what? Sorry, Digital Foundry, you guys are shut down and we're keeping the IP. So this is cool that they separated before that happened. Very, very happy for those guys.
Them talking about the Switch 2 was important. It turns out that screen is like horrendous.
Yep.
All right, our next quick bite here. Microsoft has stopped development on Contraband, and this is according to Stephen Totillo at GameFile. Microsoft declined to provide a comment on the game's fate, but a source familiar with the matter noted that production, which is now on hold, had been ongoing for 5 years, and that the company avoids cancellations as much as possible. So, canceled but not canceled. This game's not coming out. We haven't seen this game in fucking 4 or 5 years. It's not coming out.
Yeah, pour one out for Sheldon, because he was really looking forward to this one.
What was he looking for? Sheldon, you need to message me as soon as you hear this right now. What the fuck were you looking forward to? We didn't see anything.
All we got was a title card cinematic. Yeah, I know. Yeah. But he was hyped up on I think he was hyped up on the idea of what it could be.
Okay.
But I do remember he's mentioned Contraband like a few summers now in a row. Where he's like, hey, we haven't heard about Contraband. What's going on with Contraband? So.
I mean, wasn't it Rare? Is it Rare?
No,
it was Avalanche.
Avalanche. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, the Avalanche.
There was I saw
Just Cause and Mad Max, not the other one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
there was an image I saw of like, here are all the major games Microsoft announced in their 2021 showcase and where they're at now, and the majority of them were canceled. I was like, that sucks. Okay, it sucks that every time this happens, they have to ask about like what's going on with like these other games. Are they all like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. And they don't provide it. They haven't provided any like confirmation of any. Like, have we even gotten confirmation that Perfect Dark has been canceled?
The only other one that's confirmation that was like this game is still in development is OD from Kojima. But I think State of Decay 3 is still cooking, and Perfect Dark, I don't know.
Gage had a quick look over when you said that.
Sorry.
It's true. It's still cooking.
Kirik said,
I forget.
Hey, gents, sorry for the late arrival. Missed last week and we'll miss next week as well. We'll be on a fishing trip. He pre-ordered Ghosts of Yokai.
Oh, hell yeah.
There you go.
Ghosts of Yokai. That was a choice.
It was a choice.
He can't wait to play a sequel to the most mid Japanese samurai game that's ever been released.
I agree that Tsushima was incredibly mid.
Ro is fucking just screaming.
He's fuming right now.
Screaming.
But
fishing trip sounds fun. Couple of beers, couple of good eats, chilling out in nature.
Meats? Kirik's famous smoked meats.
Sounds like fun, dude.
Hell yeah.
Be safe.
Our next quick bite, Rod Ferguson has officially left Blizzard/Microsoft after 5 years of driving Diablo with 4 big launches. It's time for him to step away. He's incredibly proud of what the team has put together and looking forward to what's next for Diablo and for himself. It's technically like the third time he's left Microsoft because he worked at Epic with Gears of War and then left before they were finished with Gears of War to help ship BioShock Infinite because that game had a hell of a troubled development until the end when he came in and seemingly helped ship that game. And then he left BioShock Infinite, or Irrational Games, sorry, to go work for the Coalition, to work on Gears of War again. And then he left there to go work for Blizzard. So, my God,
he'll be back
all over the place. Yeah, who's Microsoft going to acquire next that he works for? Who knows? All right, the next quick bite: Resident Evil's next movie will be a different story with different characters. Weapons director Zach Kreger isn't about to tell you the story of Leon S. Kennedy on the big screen. He reasons you're gonna have to play Capcom's games for that, which. Personally, I think, obviously people may disagree with me, but I find it interesting that he wants to tell a new story in that universe.
I'm with you. I agree. I watched some clips from an interview Zach Kreger did with the Big Picture podcast, and he talked about how this movie is going to be a Rock'em Sock'em movie like Evil Dead 2 to let him get really crazy with the camera. And that he wants the story of his movie that he's like writing it right now to be. He said he called it a real time journey into deeper and deeper into the depths of hell. Which I guess if you've seen Barbarian, you know how he can do like a descending kind of horror where like you keep unraveling. It kind of fits into Resident Evil a little bit. So
yeah I think go ahead.
He's also doing like a DC movie, I guess. Maybe.
Is he?
But I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah. Kind of a bummer that his next 2 projects are both IP, but anyway.
I think him doing an original story in the Resident Evil universe is probably a good thing because since Resident Evil has come out 25 years ago, 24 years ago, whatever it is, we've had like 4 iterations of like Leon just in movies, not in games, but just in movies. So like, yeah, I like the idea of him just kind of taking a step away from that and being like, okay, I'm gonna tell something. And like we said before, his style, specifically like Barbarian, and even in a little bit of Weapons, like I feel like it's gonna lend itself so well to the Resident Evil IP, where it's like something that is supposed to scare you, that is supposed to be horror, but also has like a touch of the absurd. I think it's gonna This is like peanut butter and chocolate. This is gonna go together so well. I also like that same. I saw that same interview that you're talking about. I think it's super interesting that he's very heavily implying that it's going to be. Well, I mean, he said real time movie as well. That'll be interesting. Oh, also, it sucks. I think Austin Abrams would have made an awesome Leon in an alternate sort of world, alternate timeline where we didn't get so many Leon movies. It's like having him be kind of like play that sort of green around the gills kind of character. I think that could have been something special.
Was Leon?
Shout out to Austin Abrams. He was the fucking standout in Weapons. He was so good, dude.
Was Leon in the? Oh my god. Okay, I need to close that.
And what was he in?
Leon was in the fucking the Mila Jovovich movies, and he was recruited by Albert Wesker
Right.
to join his squad to rescue Alice. Okay. Well,
And then there was like a Resident Evil reboot that was like
that was terrible. Welcome to Raccoon City or something.
that one was awful.
Yeah.
And I think there was another live action Leon one that came out like a few years before that. That was like nobody remembers.
Oh.
And then there's also the animated movies that has
Yeah.
Leon in them as well. It's like we've done this too many times. That's enough.
But what has never been done before and is like peanut butter and jelly is our final quick bite, and that is a
Chocolate.
Halo ODST crossover is coming to Helldivers 2. It's been teased.
Possibly.
It's definitely coming. It's been teased at the end of the Xbox trailer for Helldivers 2, coming August 26th. It may just be armor. There's going to be something. They have the exact ODST soundtrack music at the end of the trailer. There's no way. I will bet you right now, whatever you want to bet. There's no way.
I'm not doing
that
another
there's-
bet, dude. I can't.
There's something.
I can't add another bet to
Do a
to my
bet.
backlog, dude.
It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be like high stakes.
Can I say something before we get into this,
oh.
whether or not we're gonna bet or not?
Yeah.
If there is actually a crossover, which I'm still not convinced is real, but if there is a crossover where they add like ODST armor, if they don't add a cape option that deletes the cape, it all means nothing to me. I'm so particular about this. I hate the capes. I know it's part of their thing, but especially if they added ODST armor, which ODSTs do not wear capes, there better be a fucking quote-unquote cape that's just a backpack or something. If there's not, it doesn't mean anything to me, and it won't get me to use it.
Stupid.
You're gonna run around with an ODST armor on and a fucking cape. You're gonna look like an idiot.
I'm just
You
trying
look
to
better
have
than the
fun.
Fortnite skins.
That's true. Somebody make sure those Fortnite Spartans are eating.
All right.
Are you gonna bet or not?
He's not gonna bet because he knows it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna buy Dan another dinner.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Doesn't have to have any stakes. You can just bet for the the glory, the points of it all.
Just
Or
for
maybe
the-
someone you buy. The winner gets a weapon pack or whatever.
just
What do you
for
call
the
those?
glory. It's just for the glory,
Yeah.
Gage.
The glory. I like steaks though, dude.
The stakes is
I
that
bet
get
you-
embarrassed.
I'm not gonna do it.
All right.
They're not gonna add ODST armor. They're not adding ODST armor to the
I
game.
didn't
Yeah,
say
why would they want to make the
ODST
game worse?
I didn't say ODST armor. I said that might be one thing. Like there's going to be some kind of collaboration, no doubt about it. No doubt.
I think if there is a collaboration, it's gonna be like, we've made it so that if you play on the city maps, you can hear the jazz in the background, and that's gonna be the
it's going
extent
to be
of it.
more than that.
I don't think there's gonna be
It's gonna be
anything
more than
worthwhile content-wise at all.
No, come on. Or bet on it then. If you're that confident, bet on it.
Can you imagine being
Daniel-
this bad at betting? Like it's obviously gonna be like skins.
No. All right, I'm not betting then.
All right,
Fuck
we got to move on, or we're gonna be late for you to leave. All right, fantasy.
Wait, fire him?
What?
To go
Oh
where?
fuck! Never mind. You're off this week. Shit, I forgot.
Back to
Alright.
arguing about.
Anyways, bet.
Dale,
Are you gonna
I'm not
bet,
just Dale.
Gage? You not man enough to
Call him.
bet?
I bet you, Dan,
Yeah.
that they're not gonna add weapons from Halo. They're not gonna add armor from Halo.
All of the above, or are you saying
Those
like
are the only things of consequence they could add that would make it an exciting content drop.
or map?
What do you think they're gonna add if not that?
A
They'll
map?
add a cape. They'll add a cape with like the UNSC logo on it. Maybe that'll
map?
be the extent of it.
A map,
No.
armor, or weapon. It'll be one of those. It'll be something.
Neither.
It'll be something in the game that you actually are going to be able to use. Absolutely. Because why would they put that in there? There's no reason for them to put that in there.
You're
Is
saying
he right?
no armor or weapons will be in
No armor.
a map
or
is great, and definitely not a map, but it's gonna be a weapons
Right.
is.
I'm not saying,
but definitely armor.
It'll be one of those things. I'm not saying it's going to be like an expansion pack or anything like that, but it's going to be something.
I won't bet you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Let me just delete this real quick.
I don't bet you that it won't happen.
You don't. Okay. All right, let's get into the fantasy draft check-in. Little action here. Christian has acquired counterpick Judas with a bid of $3. That was probably when we were talking last week, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Probably.
That's so sad to me. I wish that game would come out. I don't know when it's coming out. But good counterpick, I think. And let's see. Our upcoming releases, we got Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater coming August 28th from Gage. We've got Shinobi Art of Vengeance coming August 29th from Christian. And we also have Hell Is Us coming September 4th from Christian. And then we have a bunch of September stuff. We'll get into that later when we get closer. But we do have one update as well, and that is for Row Your Boat Games. He has Mafia the Old Country that got a 76 on OpenCritic. It is sitting at 6 points, which means that Gage's counterpick of Mafia the Old Country is minus 6 points.
You know what? It was right around where I was guessing it was going to be. 6 is more than I'd like, but.
And to total up the points here, Christian is still comfortably in first with 137 points. He's had 8 games release. Dan is trying to catch up to him every bit he can, but he's probably going to fall short at 113 points with also 8 games released. Gage is in third now with 69 nice points. And he's had 6 games release. And Rowe is taking up the back of the pack with 44 points and just 4 games released.
Can I say something crazy?
What's that?
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. But could you imagine if Gage lost again?
Can you try to contain your excitement?
Could you imagine if he got last every single year we did this?
That would be awesome. Sorry, Gage.
Would it be awesome? Would it be so awesome for you?
4 years in a row. Never
be
been done before.
To be fair, Gage, I'm also quietly crying because of my Outer Worlds 2 counterpick because I continue to go back to that. I'm so sad.
That was a very silly thing for you to do.
I'm so sad that I did that. I was stupid. I don't know what I was doing.
What did you think was the game again?
Fable.
I always ask this and I always forget.
I was
That's
confused
right.
with Fable, and instead of double checking my fucking I don't know, ADD self was just like, oh, drop or counterpick. I mean, not
Counterpick.
drop. Yeah.
You couldn't drop it?
No, I can't drop it. There's no dropping counterpicks.
That's
I better hope
awesome.
Judas
Dude. That's
doesn't come out then, huh?
That's like a minus 19 points easily.
I think it's going to be close to that. It may not be 19, but it's going to be. I think it's going to do well. I think it's done.
Yeah, I've got a prediction regarding that game.
That's true. And
that Gage probably lose.
And I remember what it is. It's that Outer Worlds 2 will do better than Avowed. And Gage said, "No, it's not."
I said, what was I doing? Who lets me make these bets?
Dude, who lets you be in net too? I don't know.
Okay. I am,
Oh, shit.
for the record, before we move on, for the
Okay.
podcast listeners,
Yep.
I am 100% a better goalie than Dan,
Oh.
and I'm
know
almost
about that.
positive. I'm almost positive I'm a better goalie than Christian.
I don't know about that.
That's okay. You don't have to. I'm just making a statement, a PSA for people listening.
Almost every time I'm in net, all I hear from you from the front is, "Wow."
First of all, I'm sorry I'm a supportive teammate and you guys aren't, because if you guys did say wow every time I made a save, it would sound like an Owen Wilson movie, because I lock in. Yeah, I let in a goal every now and again, but I let in a goal for every 6 saves. I have no defense when I'm in net.
Wow.
We're not here to talk about rematch. We're here to talk about
Well, I mean, we may be about to talk about rematch in our What You Got For Me, which we're headed into right now. So, yeah, we did play some rematch over the weekend, and that game is still broken as fuck. They need to put
It's
some
so
updates
depressing.
out. It's so fun when it works, but it's just like, it's very frustrating when it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's
net
so
code on
fun,
it
and
is
it's such a
frustrating.
unique attempt at the genre. Like, it's so it kind of exists in a little class of its own, where it's like, Sheldon loves saying this when we're playing, but he's right. It does kind of feel a little bit like a fighting game when you're playing it. Like, it's very much a third person action game disguised as a sports game, and it sucks because it's like, man, I would be playing it more than I'm playing it now, which is still quite regularly. If they fix the net code specifically, the networking in the net code is just so bad. There's this thing
if
I
they hadn't
noticed.
full released it, they should have just had like another beta,
Right.
release it in early access. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. There's this thing that happens that I noticed since the last update that I've been doing it a lot, and I see other people do it as well, where it's like you go to do an interception or you receive a pass or something, and I'll turn around with my character, like I just got the ball, now I'm going to head towards the enemy net. And I'll do that, and then the ball keeps rolling, so then I'll stop to turn around. Oh, I've missed the ball. And then it comes back to me. Oh, no, I didn't miss the ball, but now I've wasted, even if it's only 2 seconds, it's like, okay, but now everybody's closed the gap on me. There's small things like that constantly happen every single match, where it just ruins the flow of the gameplay. Or like I fumble a pass, or I fumble like receiving something because of the same issue, and then, oh no, wait, I didn't fumble it, but now I look like an idiot because I'm just walking around in circles, or vice versa. It's just little things like that really fuck with the tempo of the game.
I have the same thing where, like, it'll be like what I think is a 50-50, and I'll get the points for interception, but the opponent keeps moving as if I didn't even touch them a single bit. And it's like, well, did I get the interception or not then? You know what I mean? Or, numerous times, this has been a thing since launch, where like your character will make the save on your side, and all of a sudden, like, oh, nope, you didn't make the save at all. Actually, it's in the back of the net now. In the replay, you'll see the goalie go from like, oh, okay.
Right.
Well, something happened there. But I think the worst thing of all is the frequent, like, oh, my game's frozen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that happened to Dan like 3 or 4 times in a single match. And it's like, okay, that's.
And you hear him call it out when he's in net and the enemy's in possession, and you're like, oh fuck, here we go.
Can I ask a dumb question? Because this popped into my head when you guys said this. How can I phrase it? What would be different if this game was out in early access versus full release?
Time to work that out before a full release. People are paying money, right? I guess less people. You know what I mean?
Early access.
You still
ideally,
pay for early access, right?
Yeah, but ideally you'd be paying a steep discount I mean, not
True,
everybody does
that's
that in
true.
early access. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just a 20% discount. But if they were good about it, it would be something like a 50% discount. So you're paying
Yeah.
like $20 for the game.
I could get behind
And then
that.
also
Yeah.
optics wise, we still might not find it accessible or acceptable. We might still be complaining about it the exact same way on the podcast. But for the wider audience, there is a more general
Yeah.
acceptance of like, oh, this is an early access product. They're just working it out.
Sure.
They know that they're not
That
ready
makes
for
sense.
1.0, and they've acknowledged it on their end, right? Something small like that. But for them to be like, no, we're confident we can launch this now. Also, by the way, crossplay is not in the game yet, and also the game doesn't work.
Right.
It's like, all right, what are we doing?
I do like that idea of like launching it in early access for a lower price point and like acknowledging there's issues and then saying like once they're fixed we'll release in full release and full retail price or whatever price they come up with.
Right. Because like I can understand how it's like we need a lot of people playing this game to work out some of the problems that we can't foresee yet, but
Mhm.
this game's not ready yet, right? That would, I think that would have gone over a lot better with people.
Yeah.
So my what you got for me, obviously Battlefield 6 beta, obviously rematch. But I've also started Mafia the Old Country, which Kirik put in the chat. Playing it now, love the Mafia series. I'm with you, Kirik. 3, I think, story was really good. It just gameplay wise suffered, I think, quite a bit from that open world. So obviously this game back to more of a linear experience and more focused experience. The positives of it so far, which I've played the first 4 chapters, I think, and I'm having fun with it. I am enjoying it. I do think that some of the issues that are popping up make it feel like it's a last gen game or even like, you know, a 2 gens ago game. Like it still feels like a bit of an older type of experience. I think where it sorry, I'm going all over the place here, but where it shines is in its presentation. The story and the cinematics and the voice acting I think are really great in this game for the most part. I think what's interesting is going from a game like Doom the Dark Ages, where one of my biggest issues was like you would transition from gameplay into a cutscene, and it did this really goofy thing where if you didn't hit the exact right spot that it wanted you to, your character would like zoom out and do all this weird shit to get to the correct spot where it expects your character to be for the cutscene. And what Mafia does really well is it seamlessly transitions directly from gameplay into the cutscene. Like it does, you don't even feel or notice a difference, which I love that. And it goes into like the letterbox format when it goes into cutscenes as well. So it's like a smooth, perfect transition. I love what they did with that because it makes me feel like I'm in the game the entire time, regardless of whether it's cutscene or gameplay. However, what I will say is one of my main problems with this game is the actual gameplay mechanics of shooting is very like wonky to me. And one of the issues with that is the controls. They only have one option for sensitivity in the game. And when I first started playing, I cranked up the sensitivity because the look sensitivity was like super, super low. And I was like, I can't handle, I need faster look speed than this. But then when I first get my weapons, my guns for the first time, I aim in and my God, the fucking thing's super fast all over the screen. And I'm like, this isn't operational. I can't do this. And they don't have granularity between look sensitivity and aim sensitivity. So it's like you have to find like a middle ground where you're like, okay, I'm okay with this, I guess, but like I need it to fucking play well or somewhat well. So that's a little frustrating at times. The stealth mechanics are pretty basic. You're just sneaking around basically and grabbing people from behind and throwing them in trunks. It's very very traditional Assassin's Creed or something like that, like for the stealth mechanics. So nothing too crazy there. And I think also, like, this game likes to focus, at least in the first 4 chapters I've played, this game likes to focus on the horse riding, which the horse riding does not feel like super refined or top notch. Like, it feels very like scripted on rails. Like, for instance, one of the big story moments of this game, you participate in this race that your character has to go in with your horse, and they position it as like, you need to win for us. And I go in, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna win this. You can't, like, the game scripts this race so hard that, like, there's no simulation being done in this race. Like, I will not tell you the amount of button mashing I was doing trying to pass the CPU horses that were in front of me in lap 1. This is a 3-lap race, and it would not let me pass them. Like, it was very much like, nope, you're in this spot. You can't get to number 1 until you're in lap 3 on the last fucking turn. And sure enough, the lap 3 on the last fucking turn is when you shoot ahead. And that for me, like, broke the experience a little bit to make me kind of feel like, man, this would be awesome if it was like a fully thought out like simulation of this. And like, you're on your horse so much in this game already with the first 4 chapters, like that would have been a great mechanic to like focus on. But the game's beautiful. I am enjoying the story thus far and cinematics. So I'll probably stick it through and enjoy it, but definitely not Mafia 2 for my liking. Anyways,
I can't believe you were gonna beat this game and not Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, but this is an easily digestible 10 to 12 hours, not 150 hours.
I remember. No, I'm not gonna say this on air. Charles is also playing Mafia. Yeah.
How's he liking it?
Friend of the show.
He loves
Charles.
it. He's also really big into the Mafia franchise.
Hell yeah.
Like you said, Dan, he also really likes the stories in Mafia.
Yeah. Yeah, they cook up some good stuff. Christian, what you got?
I booted up Night Rain for a guide, but also played with some buddies. We did 2 matches because we lost the first one. We're doing the hard mode versions of these fights that are like on these weekly rotations, and they introduced new like boss mechanics. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but like the hard mode versions are akin to like a Destiny raid, or what are the mini raids? I forget what dungeons, where they require like communication between your crew. So it's pretty fun. We were able to do that. More Death Stranding 2. I'm in the back half, and I gotta say, my favorite parts of this game are when it's the least amount of gameplay. There's like an aesthetic effect that happens because there's so many needle drops in this game that are like really, really beautiful. You have like the music and then like the camera that's moving in different, it's no longer attached to the back of your character. It's like zoomed out farther away. And, there's one thing you can do in both Death Strandings where like if you have friends who are also playing the game, you can log on and make them, you can form a strand connection. You can force one to happen by selecting your friend in the menu. So like as I was playing the game, I started seeing like a bridge that my friend made and a generator that another friend made. But also you're also seeing like where they're resting. So I had a friend who like rested like on these cliffs, and I stopped to like give him some likes, and I look over and then a sunrise started happening. So I just sat there for a couple of minutes watching a sunrise next to my friend. I thought that was funny. But like, I don't know, the other day I was planning a route, and one thing I didn't even notice is like when you plan a route, it'll tell you how long it takes to complete this order if you're in a vehicle or if you're walking. I'm gonna walk. This is the kind of game where I like to walk in, and I'm like getting towards my destination. The camera zooms out. The music starts hitting, and I don't know if this is scripted or not. I don't think it is because it's real time weather. And like I couldn't see anything. Like a storm had like was rolling in. I was on the like towards the end of the storm, and I can't see like beyond like 5 feet in front of me, especially with the camera zoom back. And all of a sudden, the weather starts clearing for a minute, and I see where I'm supposed to go as like the music is hitting, and then it covers back up with the back half of the cloud, and I'm like, oh my god, what a moment! And it's a nothing moment. And those are happening a lot of the time in Death Stranding. I'm finding that to be like the bulk of my fun. It's a good game, but again, not for everyone. And then what else did I play? I played the Hell ODST demo, and I played for like an hour and a half. I was like, yeah, I'm into this. I don't know how many points I'm going to get in Fantasy Critic for it, but I think I'm confident that for like a good amount of people, it's going to be for them, because like they do a really good job of like marrying. It's not a Souls-like game. It's more like a character action game, but like very methodical. And then they do a really good job of of making the environment kind of like Resident Evil style puzzles. And that the puzzles in it are really good. And also the like, I really like you have to talk to an NPC. You'll get information. It goes into your kind of tablet, and based on what they said is you'll have an idea of where to go next. And even just in the introductory section, I was like, oh, this is kind of hitting in terms of like, cool exploration. It's very cool sound design. Kind of feels a little bit like a B tier kind of game, like a double A game, if that makes sense. Pros and cons of it. So I liked it. That's it. BF6, very good.
Oh yeah. Kirik did add, you can play the entire game in Sicilian Italian for Mafia as well. That is pretty
That's right. Allora.
Gage, what you got?
I think I only have played what we talked about previously in the show, so I won't. Excuse me. I won't rehash all that. So a little bit of rematch, very fun. Wish the game worked, and Battlefield 6, which I have been itching to play. I almost texted you guys. I think was it Monday? I don't know. There's one day where we were all talking about something. We were all just chatting over text, and I was like, "You guys want to like jump on Battlefield later?" And I was like, "Oh, it's not out yet. It's not
Thursday.
out yet. Yeah, Thursday. So I'm just waiting to get back into
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Wow.
Dan, press 4 on Friday, please.
He should.
But what?
Press 4 on Friday.
Press 4. What's pressing 4?
Yeah.
He doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it.
Should I type that into Google? Press 4 on Friday?
No, don't worry about it.
Oh gosh. Yes. Make sure you guys tune in next week for Christian's final episode as a permanent member on Podcast PXN. So there's gonna be some sadness, some laughs, some loving.
It'll be all giggles.
all
Tears
It'll
of
be giggles.
tears of pain.
Tears of pain. Tears of pain.
I'm gonna rearrange my schedule next week so that I can also grab on some food during that.
Okay.
Nice.
Gage, do you work next week?
I do.
Shit.
But then,
Oh, that's gonna suck. I'm gonna have to press 4 on Wednesday.
Hopefully your boss.
I was gonna say, there's no way.
All right. Well, yeah, that's gonna be difficult.
Yeah. I'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Figure something out.
You know what we could do?
What's up? No, we're not changing anything. I'm gonna figure something out to make it work.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Gage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gage.
No.
Gage. Let's get
Yeah.
it done then.
Let's get it done.
All
Should
right.
we? No.
Thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Gage. Ro, we are still thinking about you, hoping for a quick recovery. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
Medic.
Dark Raiders 10 out of 10 game of the year. Releasing October 30th.